Hey everyone, LegnatheDark here, and welcome to my top 5 most anticipated indie games coming 2014. This list is going to compile some of the most long-awaited, independently developed games that came through with the help of loyal fans such as yourselves. A lot of these companies reach certain ambitions due to your faith and love of video games of all backgrounds. A lot of these video games were especially funded through the widely known donation campaigns such as Kickstarter and Indiegogo. These are fundraising websites in which people and companies can ask for donations in order to help fund many projects that involve assortments of entertainment. The games in this list are only games that are still currently in development, so they should be coming out pretty soon. I hope you guys enjoy my top 5 and thanks for watching. Homestuck, the adventure game. Homestuck is a webcomic written, illustrated, and animated by Andrew Hussie, and is the 4th overall webcomic published on MS Paint Adventures. Homestuck begins when 13-year-old John Egbert receives a beta copy of an upcoming computer game called Suburb. Installing and running the game on his computer triggers a meteor attack on his real-life house, which he survives only by being transported to another planet, thus immersing him completely within the world of Suburb. As John's friends, Rose Lalonde, Dave Strider, and Jade Hartley, join the game with him, they learn that they have to unwittingly trigger the end of the world and that it is their duty to play the game and thereby see the story through to the bitter end. Now, the Homestuck video game itself was officially announced by Andrew Hussie as he started a donation campaign on Kickstarter on September 4th, 2012. It was launched to raise about $7,000 to fund its production, and in the first 32 hours, the project was completely funded with its due date on October 4, 2012. After the project was officially closed, the campaign raised well over $2 million from 24,000 backers. According to Hussie's pitch on Kickstarter, the game will take place in the same universe as Homestuck, but it is not a direct adaptation of the comic itself. Instead, the game is more of a spin-off, featuring many of the same elements, but not directly interacting with the comic's narrative. The game's storyline will be smaller and more self-contained than the comics and is designed to be accessible to players unfamiliar with that franchise. Very few details on the plot exist, although it is known that it will not involve Suburb. Game development was initially scheduled to begin the following the conclusion of Homestuck, then projected to end sometime in 2013. However, as the initial pre-development work began, Hussie learned that the game's release would have to be delayed substantially unless he began to write and plan it out as soon as possible. The reason why I chose Homestuck as one of my top 5 indie games is because the story of Homestuck itself is enchanting and brings forth the elements of so many genres of fantasy. The writing itself is very dark in the sense that the world will soon end while maintaining the development and the characters throughout this adventure. I honestly love the series so far, but I haven't gone as far into it yet to discuss any further. But I believe that Homestuck is one of those great stories in its lore that exceeds its original planning. Homestuck is one story where the imagination grows on its own throughout each act, and keeps on successfully transitioning onto a new arc, keeping the fans satisfied. A Hat in Time. A Hat in Time is an upcoming platform game by Gears for Breakfast, based on earlier 3D platformers for the Nintendo 64 such as Super Mario 64 and Banjo-Kazooie. The game follows the character of Hat Kid, a young girl that is capable of interstellar travel due to her possessing a magical hat. She is tasked with the goal of keeping time from being permanently broken, and must accomplish this by collecting timepieces before the evil mustached girl can get her hands on them. The initial idea for A Hat in Time was started by developer Jonas Califf, who launched the project as an answer to his idea of an ongoing shortage of 3D platformers, specifically developed by Nintendo. Development for the game started in August 2012 and was planned for a 2013 release, but eventually was delayed until 2014. The game was funded through Kickstarter, which doubled its fundraising goals of $30,000 within the first 2 days. The total amount donated was $296,360. In July 2013, it was announced that the game has been greenlit for release via Steam. In addition, the developers wish to release the game on the Wii U, but there has been no confirmation of this happening quite yet. Now, the reason why I chose A Hat in Time as one of my top 5 indie games is because the whole game is a love letter to nostalgic platformers in the 64 era, where platforming was the current style gameplay for a lot of games. Along with the game being a throwback, it was also produced by an old team that used to work at Rareware, a company that originally worked alongside Nintendo to produce games like Donkey Kong 64 and Donkey Kong Country. They were later bought out by Microsoft to help create many of the Kinect games you see today. I loved many of the games produced by Rareware, and for them to answer the prayers of many fans who love Banjo-Kazooie is a godsend. I have already pre-ordered the game through the website, and there's a link in the description if you wish to pre-order as well. It is only $20 for both versions, whether it's Mac or PC. And for those of you hoping for a Wii U release instead, then your purchase can easily be transferred for a Wii U version once it has been confirmed. Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is an 8-bit 2D side-scrolling video game developed by independent developer Yacht Club Games. The plot of Shovel Knight focuses on the character's quest to defeat the evil enchantress and save his lost beloved. In order to do so, Shovel Knight must fight the 8 members of the Order of No Quarter, who have been dispatched by the enchantress to impede him. Shovel Knight is the first video game developed by Yacht Club Games, directed by Sean Velasco. Velasco has stated that the game draws heavy influence from NES games, specifically Castlevania, Super Mario Bros. 3, and the Mega Man titles. The game was announced on March 17, 2013 alongside the launch of a Kickstarter to fund development. With a goal of $75,000, the campaign reached its goal in March and went on to collect a total of over $300,000. Fulfilling all announced stretch goals for additional features by its end on April 13th, the game was originally for release in September 2013 but was delayed in early 2014 and then confirmed on January 22nd that the game's release date would be March 31st, 2014. Now, the reason why I chose Shovel Knight as one of my top 5 indie games is because the game is another reminder of how great games from the past can last forever. Another love letter to past popular games, Shovel Knight restores the atmosphere of playing an 8-bit game from the 90s. This game replicates the intricate platforming rhythm that only games like Castlevania can create, and its fast-paced action and shovel-hopping attacks give a clear reminder of how something that isn't broken shouldn't be fixed. In fact, the shovel-hopping attack you see in-game is a reference to a similar mechanic in DuckTales, a popular game produced by Capcom that recently had an HD version created as homage to the Capcom classic. As of now, the pre-order is only for the PC version, so if you haven't pre-ordered a copy yet of Shovel Knight, do it today. There's a link in the description that'll take you straight to the page. Skullgirls Encore. Skullgirls is a fast-paced 2D fighting game developed by Lab Zero Games and led by tournament champ Mike Z. Zaman and artist Alex Ahad. The game takes place in the fictional Canopy Kingdom and follows the journey of many different characters who seek out the Skull Heart, a mystical item capable of granting any person's wish. But if the person who makes the wish is impure of heart, her wish is corrupted and she turns into a Skullgirl, a monstrous entity with an immense power bent on the destruction of the world. The game follows several fighters and their journeys to confront Marie the Skullgirl and claim the Skull Heart. Each character has their own motive for seeking the heart, whether to destroy the artifact or use its power for their own interests. The game was released on the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live Arcade in April 2012. Skullgirls is designed to be a tournament-grade fighter while remaining approachable and engaging for the casual player. Following the game's release, the Skullgirls team began teasing future content for the game. However, shortly after, Autumn Games was hit with a series of lawsuits regarding an unrelated game property, and the entire Skullgirls development team was laid off by Refuge Labs in June 2012 after Autumn Games and Refuge Labs allowed their contract to expire without agreeing upon a new one. This prompted the team to reform under a new company name, Lab Zero Games, to continue work on the PC release and downloadable content. But with not enough funding, Lab Zero Games decided to ask its fanbase for help once more. Following the success of the Evil 2013 charity drive on February 25, 2013, Lab Zero Games set up an Indiegogo campaign for Skullgirls in an effort to raise $15,000 for development of the game's first DLC character, Squiggly. All contributors of the campaign received various rewards exclusive to donating and reached its goal in less than 24 hours, while the stretch goals finally being met at the end of the campaign funded for 4 more DLC characters, Big Band, Beowulf, Eliza, and Robo Fortune. By the end, the campaign has raised around $830,000. The new DLC character Squiggly and any previous purchased color packs will be free to download on all platforms within the first 3 months of their release when this new update is finally released. Lab Zero Games had experienced severe difficulties in submitting patch updates for Skullgirls because of difficulties arising involving their relationship with Konami. In an attempt to rush the patching update, Lab Zero severed legal ties with Konami, as Konami was Skullgirls' original publisher. Konami demanded that Skullgirls was delisted from any services in December 2013. Skullgirls Encore is Lab Zero's answer to the delisting, and a new version of the game will come to both the PlayStation Network and Xbox Live Arcade on January 2014, as the Steam release of the game has already received the updates. Skullgirls is no doubt one of my favorite indie games to ever come into the arcade fighting world. After its fallout with lawsuits, a majority of a company being laid off, and breaking off ties with Konami, Lab Zero still manages to deliver the promises they made to its loyal fans. Not only does the gameplay derive off of the engine and style of Marvel vs. Capcom 2, it created a unique storyline for every character in the game as you play through each of their story modes. And another plus is Goils! 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 Mighty Number 9. Mighty Number 9 is an upcoming action platform video game in development by Concept and directed by Keiji Ifune. Mighty Number 9 resembles another Ifune creation, Mega Man, in both gameplay and character design, and is thought to by many as its spiritual successor, considering that many of the original planned Mega Man games have been cancelled before any could be confirmed for release. Mighty Number 9 is a robot named Beck, the 9th robot that forms a set of combat robots called the Mighty Number. Suddenly, a form of computer virus attacks the rest of his fellow robots as well as machines around the world. The player, as Beck, must fight the rogue robots and discover the final villain who threatens the fate of the planet. Mighty Number 9 was announced in a conference at 2013 Penny Arcade Expo by Ifune and his team that they would create a Kickstarter campaign for the development of Mighty Number 9 on August 31st, 2013. In only 2 days, the campaign raised its goal of $900,000 in only 2 days. On September 4, 2013, it was announced that the 2 previously announced mystery stretch goals were to be pushed back in favor of releasing the game on consoles early. The mystery goals were still reserved and later revealed once funding reached the optional goal of $2 million and beyond. As each particular stretch goal was attained during the month of September, additional stretch goals were announced, pushing the final goal to the $4 million mark. The game is in development for 10 platforms including Windows, PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Wii U, Xbox 360, Xbox One, Nintendo 3DS, and PlayStation Vita. The Kickstarter campaign ended on October 1st, 2013, raising close to $4 million and becoming the 6th most funded project in Kickstarter history. The total amount comes out to $4,046,579, contributing to all of the stretch goals promised. Now finally, the reason why I chose this game as my number 1 most anticipated indie game is because the game itself pays homage to all of those Mega Man fans out there who have been waiting patiently for a title to be released. The original creator and current director Keiji Ifune has been working hard under the undecisive hand that is Capcom. In the video promoting the Kickstarter, Ifune stated that he wanted to make the project one where he can get the fans involved, following the cancellation of Mega Man Legends 3, which was supposed to come out a while back. This was probably the last straw that made Keiji seek help to satisfy his fans, and that's probably why he started a Kickstarter in the first place, to finally create a proficient successor to the Mega Man series. As a child, I loved playing his games such as Mega Man X, and to this day I still love many of his creations, especially his Dead Rising series and his hand at Resident Evil 2. Keiji Ifune has practically created my whole childhood, and from one fan to another, I would trust him with more than just my money to make another one of his works of art. If you wish to check out their community website to be updated with the latest information on Mighty No. 9 and possibly pre-order a copy as well, you can by checking the link in the description to their official website. Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to like and subscribe for even more content just like this. If you want to check out any of the recently funded campaigns pre-order pages, there should be links in the description or annotations on the video to take you to the websites right away. As for Skullgirls Encore, the official update should be coming on February 11, 2014. That's tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, you guys should check out my Resident Evil 4 Let's Play still in progress. Click the annotation on the right, or if you wish to check out some of my one-off videos in which my friends and I play some awesome video games and show off the game entirely, you can also click the annotation to the right as well. This is LegnatheDark here, and I'll see you guys next time.